One who serves here and Shoshanna is here and we are ready for your questions if you have them. Would there be any questions here? Member question, I have a question. The question in general last week was whether we need some kind of event like a flash to ascend as a collective. And I was wondering what your perspective on that is. OWS answer. We can say that as a collective, yes, you will need something that is beyond the normal, something that creates an explosion of consciousness. But as an individual, not so much. That is up to you. You can wait if you want to and move through this transition and continue to move through it and wait for that solar flash. But we would suggest not to do so. We would suggest for you to learn fully to be in the present moment, to let go of all the old programming, the past, and move forward into the future in joy, in love and oneness. And if you do that, you will not need the solar flash to happen here. But again, as a collective, as an awakening process, there will need to be something that triggers. It is all about triggering that alarm clock to go off for all of those that it has not yet gone off for, as it has for you each one, you see? So we would say either do not be concerned about the collective. Just do what you can to be a part of the collective and an individual within the collective that is doing its most to change yourself. And as you change yourselves, you do change the collective. Because as you change yourselves, you are changing the quantum field, the universal mind. And as the quantum field is changed, so too is the collective changed as well. So Shoshanna, do you have something you want to say? Yeah, great. We do not. Very good. Then we move on to the next question, if there is one. Member question, yes, I have a question. This is more out of curiosity than anything, but a lot of folks, especially, well, not a lot of folks, but a lot of celebrities and folks of that nature have signed dark contracts, right? Were they? Well, let's just say with the dark side and, you know, although I don't know the details, you know, it's handing over your soul, or always say is like trading your soul or selling your soul, right? What actually happens? After this lifetime, are they able to retrieve if they were a light being and they sold their soul in this particular lifetime? And again, using that term lightly, are they able to retrieve or, you know, get back that part, whatever they gave up as part of that contract? OWS answer, and we will say here is that we have said before that those that will not turn to the light shall be consumed by the light. And what that means is after this lifetime is over, they will face a judgment, if you will. Not a judgment from God, not a judgment from others, but a judgment within themselves. And they will be the ones to judge themselves and how they can move forward from that point. You see? And they will have the opportunity, as you said here, they will have the opportunity to regain their souls as well. Not that they ever lose the soul, but they will lose the experiences they have had to this point. In other words, they will have to go back and do it all over again. You see? Now some, of course, will be able to be turned and will turn to the light and then will move through there, we will say their karma if you will, and will live through that and experience and move through it until they are ready for the next round, until they are ready for an evolutionary leap for themselves. And then they can also move on through ascension. No one is ever completely lost. You see, that was part of what I was getting at. And they can certainly through karma or something, even if they made that, you know, call it a mistake or whatever that decision, I should say in this lifetime, they can work that off through karma and regain whatever it is that they gave up. Right. And we would say perhaps Shoshanna has another perspective here. Shoshanna's perspective, we can add, but there is really nothing to add. But we concur. There is nothing to add to the fullness of the answer. But we can perhaps rephrase, if you wish, dear brother. Yeah, of course, if you want to get more detail. Absolutely. Dear brother, there are two things here that are occurring. The idea of selling your soul, it's not yours to sell, but the idea of selling your soul is a tactic used to control people, you see. This is long ago. Sell your soul to the devil. This was told to children to keep them in line, you see. This was a religious thing that occurred. And then it evolved to a thing that perhaps some people believe is real. But what happens in the darkness of the organizations such as your Hollywood is that they once again attempt to control the individual this way, you see. So we will take your soul if you do certain things. And their mind is captured. Their mind is captured by the darkness and they begin to believe this. And they are given power, you see. They are told that there is power there by forsaking or by giving your soul away to a more powerful being, you will have the power of that powerful being. It is like hypnosis, you see. But it is not, it is never true. It is just a tactic. It is an evil tactic used by evil people and also people, some wrong-meaning people in the past, but it is still a tactic used where you cannot sell your soul. But the idea that one who serves has offered you is accurate, you see. You can retrieve whatever it is that you thought you sold by, as you call it, working it out through karma. But you go backwards, you see. You just relieve and relieve and relieve until you are back to where you were, you see. So we suggest that you do not succumb to darkness, that you do not offer this to these beings, you see. Member comment, correct. I was just hoping to understand the just really larger picture around the soul and what happens after this lifetime. But thank you very much for the detail. Appreciate it. Shoshanna, yes. Namaste. Member question, I would like to ask the question that dovetails on Kent's question, please. I worked in Hollywood for 35 years. I did the hairstylist for many of the biggest stars in Hollywood. I never, ever saw any of this darkness. I never saw adrenochrome. I worked with, I don't want to drop names, but the biggest stars in Hollywood for 35 years. I never saw this darkness. My question, I guess, is are some of them like Kiefer Sutherland or Sammy Davis Jr. that I worked with, were they not part of this thing or are they all part of this thing, but they hid it very well from the people working on and around them? OWS answer, we will not speak directly of those particular ones, but we will speak about you who is asking this question and understand that you yourself were at a certain vibration that did not attract that type of environment to you. Even if those ones were to participate in the dark forces, you could not succumb to it, you see. So that is what we would say about you for this and anyone else as well, because this can be a collective question as well. If you are of a higher vibration, then you do not attract the lower vibrations to you. You see? Shoshanna, you have something you add? Shoshanna perspective, well, we can add here. May we add? Yes, sister. Without demeaning anything that you have done, we will tell you that the dark did not capture you because you were not worth capturing, you see. You were not participating at a level that would entice them to grab you. It takes an extremely weak individual, an individual that perhaps is depressed or is in fear or is looking to be elevated through their ego that is capturable, you see. You are not, and one who serves Son has given the correct answer that your vibration was high, but you did not show signs of them being able to capture you. You see, if you had, you may have learned more than you wished to learn. Does this make sense? Member comment, wow, that makes so much sense. That's a blessing. I'm so in gratitude to know that my vibration was not in alignment with that darkness. That's probably why I never saw it. That is so accurate. Shoshanna continues, and that is true of many that are innocent. They cannot be captured because they do not align with it. That is accurate. Namaste. OWS continues, and please understand that the saying for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear can go both ways. You did not have the eyes to see and the ears to hear those of the denizens of the dark. See? Member comment, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. OWSCOMMEENT, would there be any other questions here before we release channel? No? Then Shoshanna, do you have personal messages? Shoshanna comments, you would just say that those that continue to participate in this call have the bravery and have the courage to face what is coming, to face the ascension process head on, to live in that idea and continue to live in that idea and move forward in consciousness. There are many that have given up. There are many that wish to abide by perhaps what their ego is telling them. But those that remain faithful and continue on and move forward as a group are the ones of the true ones that will exceed the expectation of the light and the ascension process. Namaste. OWS comment, we would say here that for all of you to continue to move on, to let go of everything from the past, to be in the present moment as much as you possibly can in every moment, and to let go of all of the old attachments and the old programming that no longer doing you any good here as you move through this transition and the event. Shante, peace be with you. Be the one.